I know I'm arriving late to the party for this one, but I've made my fair share of "Is Titanfall 3 coming?" videos, so I saw it fit to make a video on the whole situation surrounding Apex Legends 2.0 and what it means for the Titanfall community as a whole. For a brief background to this situation, all of us Titanfall fans know we've been wanting to see another Titanfall game. Maybe some don't, as they are happy where it stopped, but the large majority do. I've looked into it myself way too much to see if we would ever get a new installment to the Titanfall franchise, and looking into information that doesn't even make sense. And yes, I'm guilty of that, but I just love Titanfall so much, and if there was a slight chance that we would ever get a new installment, I would cling onto it. But long story short, we also know that Apex Legends was originally meant to be Titanfall 3, but at the time when Battle Royales were really popping off, for example PUBG and Fortnite, they halted Titanfall 3 in its tracks and went down the road of creating their own Battle Royale, which we now know today as Apex Legends. At the time of Respawn bringing the production of Titanfall 3 to a halt, they'd already been working on it for 10 months and had the first playable build on the go. As far as I'm aware, because there is so much rumored information, the 10 months of work that was meant to be Titanfall 3 was going to be released after Apex Legends, which is not entirely official information, but rather a rumored project which was codenamed TFL, which stands for Titanfall Legends, which was under director Mohamed Alavi, who actually left EA in 2022, which then led to the apparent game being cancelled by February 2023. Apparently, this was going to be a single-player game set in the shared universe of both Titanfall and Apex Legends, which would feature a Titan who we all know and love as BT-7472, which you would repair and upgrade in Rampart's workshop and pilot him during the campaign. The game was meant to star Apex Games Commissioner Cuban Blisk, where he would be aided throughout the campaign by different Apex Legends characters who would lend him their powers. There was going to be a lot of Titanfall lore in this game, and was supposed to be heavily movement focused, which goes without saying, with wall running and fast-paced combat. Personally, I would have loved to have seen this game get made, as I'm such a big fan of the lore that comes with Titanfall. It's so intriguing, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. Also, not to mention, I would have loved to have seen BT again and hear his voice with some new lines. So coming back to the topic of Apex Legends, since its release back in 2019 until now, EA have come out and said that its revenues have been dropping year by year, leading the company to start working on a major 2.0 update that will broaden the game's experience. This gives any hope that us Titanfall fans had on seeing anything more coming to the Titanfall franchise a long shot away. I'll never rule it out though, as like I said in this video, all the work that they have done for this game has to still exist. I doubt they've just deleted it all. It's on a hard drive somewhere, but they just don't want to do anything with it because they've put all their eggs into Apex's basket as they've seen the potential of money it can earn. And there's one thing that we all know about EA, and that's they are 100% money driven. It sounds crazy for me to say this, but EA have said that Apex Legends is failing to perform as it should from a business standpoint, and that's why they're planning to take action with this major 2.0 update. But they have said that they have made $3.4 billion now, since the release in 2019, which doesn't even make any sense, because $3.4 billion is a shit ton of money, but it's still not enough for them. It would be nice if they wanted to update the game for the love of it rather than the money, because if they listened to the community the whole time, I somehow think the game wouldn't be struggling as much as it is right now. That's also not the sole reason for the game losing numbers, as I think it's only natural for numbers to decline over time. But did they ever stop to think that the reason they might not be doing as well as they'd like is because the direction of the game has been pulled in so many directions since its release, trying to please everyone, and it's actually had the opposite effect, trying to please all the masses, and it's backfired. It's clear the reason they're trying to please all the masses is because there's more money in the masses, rather than the minority of specific gamers, but for the gamers that play, it's a very frustrating process of constant change. Apex Legends is a lot different from what it was in 2019, and it's even a lot different from what it stood for back then too. Hopefully, just hopefully, this is a good wake-up call for EA, but then again, they're all about the business, and I'm intrigued to see what this Apex Legends 2.0 update will bring to the table, and will it revitalise this game? Currently, there is no actual release window for Update 2.0, and that EA doesn't want to release it alongside the upcoming Battlefield game due to be released. And if only they thought of this last time they decided to release a Battlefield game very close to another game in particular. Since the new Battlefield game is due around April 2026, this means that Apex Legends 2.0 update could be coming out at some point in March 2027. If this is the case, I don't even know if Apex will last that long until then. I actually jumped into Apex Legends the other day and tried to record some gameplay of the new season, but it just wasn't hitting the same, and I scrapped the video in the end, and I didn't find myself enjoying it as much as I used to. It could be just all the disappointments that slowly build up and it's weighing down on me subconsciously, but I do really want to enjoy this game again, and I just think it needs to find itself again. All the potential is there, it just needs to be channeled properly. So what does this all mean now for the Titanfall community? Well, I guess if they're planning to keep Apex going for the foreseeable future, I've even heard for the next 10 to 20 to 30 years, which is crazy, because that means I'll be 60 if that's the case, and I'll believe it when I see it. But if this really is the case, does that mean us Titanfall fans are truly left in the dust? I'll sit happily and continue to play Titanfall 2 until the servers are unplayable and I've made every video there is possible to make on it, and maybe even try and boot up Titanfall and have a few games of that. But what about the future? Is Titanfall 2 really going to be the last game we ever see of this franchise? I'd like to think at some stage down the line, EA decides to invest some time and money back into the franchise of Titanfall. For me, it's a no-brainer, and I'm sure a lot of you watching would agree, and it hurts me to see it being left where it is, where there's so much potential in the Titanfall games. Like I said at the start of this video, there is people out there that are happy with Titanfall 2 left as it is and untouched, and I can definitely see where they're coming from. I think Titanfall 2 is a perfect example of how far ahead of its time that game was, and clearly a game that had lots of passion and love injected into it, something that you couldn't say for the state of Apex right now. I was thinking, could it even be possible that the rights of Titanfall could be bought off EA, including all the work they did for Titanfall Legends and continued to be worked on, or even just a whole new Titanfall game? Or am I getting a bit of ahead of myself, or do any of you guys watching have that sort of money? If you do, could you help us, because that would be great. But all jokes and crazy theories aside, maybe the next quote-unquote Titanfall 3 or next Titanfall game is being developed right now as we speak, but not by EA Respawn, but by a team of developers or solo developer that is done waiting and took the responsibility into their own hands of making their own mech movement shooter themselves. A perfect example of this, which I've made a couple of videos on before, is Xavier B. Johnson and his Days on Nights game, which is currently being developed, that is clearly Titanfall inspired, but their own take on it. This might not be coming out for quite some time, as these games do, as we all know, take a lot of effort, especially with a small dev team or a solo developer. The game looks great though, and I'm excited to see more from it, and if you haven't heard of it or seen it, you can play the demo, which is in its really early stages on Steam right now. Other games that I feel you could say are similar to Titanfall is Echo Point Nova, where you can grapple, wall run, backflip, side roll, shoot enemies and all that good stuff. And another one would be a small indie game called World of Unlit, where speed, momentum and grappling is key to beating the game. Those are two little great games that came to mind, and there is so much more. I know it's not Titanfall, but it is fun, there is no denying, or you can just keep on playing Titanfall 2 because there is no harm in that, and that's where you'll catch me the majority of the time. So to conclude this video, will the Apex Legends major 2.0 update save the game, or will it even last that long before the update comes out? I hope they get it right because I have lots of good memories on this game, and by no means is it bad, they just need to sort out their problems. And as far as Titanfall goes, because Apex Legends has yet again stole the limelight away from Titanfall, does this mean there is no chance of seeing a new installment for the franchise anywhere down the line? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings on both topics down here in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.